This meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilor Lyman. Here. Councilor Matthew. Here. Councilor Larson. Here. Councilor Kuechly. Here. Mayor Swanson.
Here. Report from department heads. Public Works.
Last night there was a ground fault on a three-phase riser feed in the State Street apartments, and I wasn't able to fix it myself, so I had to call Minnesota Power, and they were working until sunup this morning to get it back on, but that's not working. And we took the decorations down and taken the ones on Pennsylvania. They're starting to get pretty beaten up, and their sockets are all broken, and so I'd like to start looking into updating some of them, and I'd like to start switching out to LED lights. They look better. They cost more up front, but they save money in the end, because every year we're changing out all the light bulbs and we're filling up a garbage can full of these C9 bulbs because they break so easily.
We'll check some out, and when you find something you like, bring it back and we'll take a
I
look.
was digging through and I found a magazine for this year, so
Okay.
I get time to look at them, see what I can figure out. And otherwise, everything's been going good for us.
Okay.
On the State Street apartments there, are they gonna have to replace the whole wires from the pole all the way in, or?
Nope, it's all fixed. There's still 8 feet of wire that was still good, and so we were able to splice it in last night, and they worked about 7:30 this morning.
What, do you have trouble with the weatherhead or what?
No, there was a ground fault about 14 feet up.
Oh, okay.
And so it started a fire, and then the U-guard started on fire and burnt up the other cables, and cable was junk after that.
Were they out of power for a while over there?
Yeah, it been midnight to about 7:30, about noon, when you just get the call.
11:47,
I believe it's all came in. Right, so
Okay.
8 hours. Otherwise, everything's been good.
Okay.
Thanks, Trent.
Thanks, Trent. Fire and ambulance. You had 5 minutes.
All right. Well, first off, excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm having a hard time catching my breath. Josh couldn't make it tonight, so he asked me to do this. We've been going back and forth on a few things that we need approval on. Some of it is just notification. First thing off is engine 1 and engine 2 will finally be getting their pumps repaired this week. So that's great news for us. Another one is 2 more pagers are going to be sent out. We should see a bill by the time we get to the next council meeting. We have to get those back, and they're going to take a look at them, see how much they are to repair them, if they even are repairable. So giving you a heads up on that one. We're sending ambulance 2 in for a service that needs to be done. Here's a request. Looking for approval to put me onto the Menards account. What we're finding out is I went over there, Josh is on the account and I'm not.
Oh.
So, and I work over that way, so it's 10 times easier for me to get the things over there than it is for him.
Well, and you're second in command, right?
Right.
I have no problem with that. I make a motion that we put Ted on the account at Menards.
Support? Thank you.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. A little bit of tidbit information. Run volume last year was 178 ambulance calls that we took ourselves. So that is quite a bit up. So it's not the highest we've ever had. So if it's not the highest, it's darn close. So one of the things that we're looking for is, we wanted to bring this up, and it's called transport runs. It's transporting a patient from one facility to another facility. What we don't have right now is we don't have a run rate in place. What we're asking is that we get approval to have a run rate of $1.45 per attendant per loaded mile, which is right in the same base range as Nashwauk, Ely, and Cook are using also.
Okay.
Plus we get the same base rate as well.
Yeah, I mean, other towns are doing the same thing, aren't they, Ted?
Yes.
As far as that goes?
Yes,
And this helps to cover the cost of
different thing, absolutely.
everything you need, so.
I'll make a motion that the ambulance put in a transfer rate What was it, $1?
45 per attendant per loaded mile.
Okay, $1.45 per attendant per loaded mile.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, another one that we have is to, I'm trying to see here, he sent me numerous emails. Currently, our base rate is at 600 for BLS service. Our ALS base rate is 800. And our mileage per loaded mile per attendant is $12 an hour, or $12 per mile. Wait, I gotta remember that one. $12 per loaded mile. So what we're asking is to up the increase from the $12 per loaded mile to $17. So that's step one. The other one would be to also increase the ALS intercept rate to 900 from 800. We would leave the BLS rate at 600 for now.
What's the BLS?
That's us.
Okay, Buhl.
It's as a basic life support. ALS would be Hibbing and also Virginia.
Okay.
Which is advanced life support.
ALS is
Okay.
advanced life support. So we're looking to up that one, the advanced life support, to 900, and the loaded mile is to 17.
Now, is that comparable to what's happening in the other towns around here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's rated in the same area, same range as everybody else. What's happening right now, if we have a Medicare patient, for instance, and that's the only insurance that they're carrying, Medicare will only pay $440.47 for basic life support. That's the top dollar they'll pay. Per loaded mile is $10.68. So basically it's a catch-up. So if they don't have a supplemental, we're out a little bit there. So this is right in the realm with what everyone's doing. We'd like to put these into effect as soon as February 1st.
Just one question for you, Ted. On that Medicare deal, all right, say they only allow the $10 instead of the 12 or whatever, is that person still responsible for the rest of that bill or not?
If they have their Medicare, I don't believe they are responsible if that's what they're having. Medicare has agreed to pay that dollar amount.
Oh, okay, just to clarify.
Mike, am I correct on that?
Yeah, you're correct.
Oh, okay.
And what about other insurances? Do they also have a cap on what they'll pay towards that?
Most of them do.
And then,
Yeah.
is that gonna reach our $17, or are we setting this and then not ever gonna be able to meet it?
Well, I think right now is what's happening is that our rates are lower than the surrounding areas right now, and we're trying to build that up. We have to get up to that rate, and right now, that's a great question. I wish I could answer that question for you.
And I was talking with Josh earlier today about it. He said if they have Medicare, it'll cover so much, and then if they have supplemental insurance,
Picks up the rest.
that
Yeah.
picks up the rest.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then I think the patient's gonna have to pick up the.
Well, it's just like a clinic call.
Yeah.
Here, say you go to the clinic, it's $160, but Blue Cross Blue Shield allows $125.
And they
And
have
that's
to
it.
forgive the
They
rest.
have to forgive that, they have to accept that.
So we'll have some of that, but for now, can I have a motion to up this to 17?
Now we got three different ones here, huh? Or two.
2, ALS to 900, and increase from 12 loaded mile to $17 per loaded mile.
You wanna do it in one motion?
Can we do it now, Mike?
Yeah, you can do it one.
We'll make a motion that we allow the ambulance to raise their ALS rate from 800 to 900 and their loaded traveling rate from 12 to 17.
Support.
Any discussion? Anybody have anything they wanna add? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, so now we gave you all the good news, now we got a little bit of bad news.
Oh,
We had a little bit of an incident the other day. Engine 1 has side compartments that basically open up like wings. The
Yeah.
door got damaged again, and it got pulled off again. This is not the first time, this is not the last time. There's actually a light inside the cab that is named after myself. It's called the TED light, because I've done it myself. We are gonna have to call an overhead door. We are gonna have to get it over to Kitsville Body Shop to get it fixed. Right now, it is still usable. We just took the door off and all the stuff in that compartment is out. But overhead door's gonna have to come in and take a look at the side rail. It's usable, but I wouldn't last on it for very long.
Okay,
Can they do it in one day?
Overhead door?
Can they
Or
fix it in
anyone.
one day?
Which one? Door, engine one or the door?
The door.
Overhead door. I think they could. What they're gonna do, they'll come in, they'll take a look at it, and we'll get them to get the parts they need. And then once engine one goes over to Kitsville to get repaired, we'll get them in there to get that door replaced, or get that rail replaced.
Since this has happened before, Ted, do you have any idea what it costs to get this fixed?
We're gonna try an audible first. There's so many lights that are going off inside. This isn't with even turn on your master without the sirens or anything going on, or the emergency lights going on. It's just, there's a light that sits right off to the right and it was just on. Now, we moved it over. Now there's a blinking one right there. Next step, I think, is what we might add is a little chirp to remind you to shut it. If you look at most fire trucks nowadays, they don't have these type of doors anymore. They have the roll-up compartments. Like I said, I wish I could say this is never gonna happen again, but it happens.
Yeah, stuff happens.
It does. So, just letting you know that that bill's gonna be coming through, we have to get it fixed.
Right.
So, any other questions for me? I didn't do
Keep
too
up the
bad
good
there.
work.
Huh?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you
Now
very
go
much.
home and take care of
Yeah,
yourself.
get some rest.
I'm going to class now.
Oh,
All right, thank you.
thanks, Ted.
Thank you.
Engineering attorney. We have our new attorney here tonight.
The only report I have to say is hello, and thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. I don't have anything tonight. I expect I will have something at the next meeting. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Long-range planning and zoning.
Yeah, we had our meeting last Tuesday night, and gentleman, Justin, can't think of his last name again, no?
Lastly or?
Ostia, yeah, was here as part of our city comprehensive plan, so we could be eligible for IRRB funding for our projects here in town. And we're actually in about the third stage. We got two more stages, two more meetings to go through before this is completed. We're still kind of looking at, it will be at our next quarterly meeting that he will be here again. And it'll be the last preparation meeting, and then the last meeting, if I understood him right, it'll be a public meeting again
Okay.
for the people to come and hear the final verdict on everything. And it'll be warmer weather, so maybe we'll get people to come to the meeting.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this comprehensive plan, but the IRRB made this mandatory for every city to have this done, to be eligible for any grants or funding through them. So we had to do this project. So,
Yeah, other than that.
and I don't know why, but I thought that we had a full board. And I see in here that you have a vacant spot on
I
it.
have a vacant
How did that
spot.
happen?
Too many.
Well, with a vacancy on there, Stu, are you interested in serving on something?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
This is a quarterly meeting. Do you want to go on long-range planning and zoning?
I'd go on.
Well, Gene, I'm not going on yet, but maybe eventually I will. All right, do I appoint Mike?
You
Or,
appoint, but then there's gotta be a
Okay.
motion to approve your appointment.
all right, I'll appoint Stu to long-range planning and zoning.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Stu to long-range planning and zoning.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Recreation Board.
Good evening.
Hi, Judy.
Mayor, gentlemen. Mike forgot to put me on the agenda. I would just like to point out this is the second time that's happened.
Uh-oh.
Second time in
However,
10 years.
Tell us whatever you want now.
Well, no. We have our winter frolic coming up on February 7th, and I'm here to ask you to approve us withdrawing $300 from our event fund to cover the costs of our expenses for the winter frolic. The one thing we've added this year with the help of Trent, and I've also discussed it with Josh from the fire department to make sure we're all set, is we're going to have, let the kids roast marshmallows outside during the winter frolic as well. So we've done all our checking, we have everything in place so no one can fall, get hurt, it'll be supervised, and we're in good shape for that.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I have a motion?
Make a motion that get $300 out for the winter frolic. Cover your expenses.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Is that it, Judy?
That was it.
That's what you wanted on the agenda?
That's what I wanted on the agenda.
Well, see, you got out early this week.
Yes, I did.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Library Board, we've got the minutes in the packet. I would like to ask, though, if I could go back on as the liaison again. I didn't ask at the last meeting, but I think it's good to have a counselor there, and I go anyway. Could I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion that you go on to the library board as liaison.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Vita? Meets,
Last Wednesday of the month.
Mike, we never get anybody here from BETA to give any kind of report if there's anything going on.
Well, there's usually three
counselor.
counselors that are on BETA, so
Yeah.
you really, they're here.
We haven't met yet this year, so when we meet, that's a good point, though. I mean,
Yeah.
there should be some discussion about what's going on. All right, Sheriff,
I have nothing for tonight.
you got all that with you there.
I have the agenda and a clipboard.
Okay.
I was
I
wondering,
have nothing.
could you talk a little bit about that rent?
The rental property,
That you-
I think that some cities have been caught flat-footed in the past by not being able to regulate rental housing and then consequently having problems because they can't enforce or don't have an ordinance in effect to enforce certain things about rental, like the occupancy rate, condition, inspections, and that sort of thing. And I think that Buhl should be ahead of that, we should get ahead of that because, like many other things, sometimes we'll have a problem, but not have a way to address it. And it would be nice, I think, and important for the city to see that coming and have an ordinance in effect, because as houses get older, neighborhoods get older, they become more subject to being rental property. And I know that there are some houses in town already that are rental property that are run down, and that we should address that before it happens, before it becomes a problem.
So if there's a problem, will you ticket them or what?
Well, we don't have a way at the moment. I mean, there's no active inspection program for housing in Buhl, but for rental property, there should be, because it keeps landlords on their toes. It keeps them, and it might discourage some people from being the landlords in Buhl if they know they have inspections, that sort of thing. So that's why we should be ahead of that problem.
County would do the inspections then? Or?
No, that would be a city inspector, an inspector hired by the city for that sort of thing.
I think this is something we could probably have Mike look into a little bit with the League of Minnesota Cities. He can see what other towns are doing in respect to that kind of a problem.
We'll have some kind of a report back to you at the next meeting.
Okay. Council's addition to the agenda?
Actually, we don't, I don't think.
I don't think we have anything.
Not a thing.
No.
All right. Citizens Forum, is anybody wishing to speak to us? Gary? All right. Consent agenda. You've got the amended minutes in front of you. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 6th council meeting.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Claims.
I'll make a motion, we accept the payments for pay period number 1.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Rams Association of Municipalities and School presentation, Tim Reardon.
My bottle of water down on the floor since it's not a Buhl water, so. I already told them I made the full call by bringing it in, I apologize. My name is Tim Reardon, I'm the Vice President of Rams coming in this year. So I just wanted to come over and talk a little bit about the Rams in the past and so forth. I've actually been on Rams for 12 years. I was put on by the Virginia School District a year before right after I was elected, but before I was actually put on the Virginia School Board, and that was in 2002. And our biggest thing about Rams is it's one voice, one range, one voice, and that's what we primarily try to do through the municipalities, the schools, and the townships. And right now we have, on our board right now, we have 4 township board members, 7 schools, and 12 cities, which comprise our board. We are looking for new board members as we speak. Back when I first came on, they used to have an economic development committee, a financial committee, education, municipal, and township. And I never met the man, but he was from Buhl, Rod Otterness, was on the economic development. Over the years since I've been on the board, the economic development has kind of taken a back seat. And we're now through our restructuring, we want to bring that more to the forefront. But every year in December, we would meet, and the financial education municipal and townships would start a platform, and that would be what we would use to lobby or go to the League of Cities or other entities to help push our platform. I think it's a valuable resource. When I first got on, I talked primarily to school board members. I came over with Rocky Lucarelli. Our first meeting was in your library in the basement. I remember that. And then we went to the Senior Citizen Center downtown, and then we went out to the one on the highway. You might have a problem, in a municipality or a city, and we might have one in the school, which is the same, but if we don't talk, we don't know it, and we can solve it without trying to reinvent the wheel. The biggest thing that I think is I learned over the years that we can work collaboratively together, even though we're in different realms, the schools, the counties, and the cities. A couple things of what we have done that you will hopefully have heard is the ALI project, which was just a concept paper in 2007, which actually what the ALI is an industrial arts program collaboratively through the 15 school districts. And it was a concept paper. It was put in by the governor, and we've had like 90, don't quote me on this, it's like 94% increase in students in industrial arts since 2007 when the program was adopted. It's just a fabulous program because a lot of schools, when things got tight, that was the programs that dropped off. And now this is bringing them back, and we're doing it collaboratively amongst the schools. The Middle Mile Fiber Project through the Northeast Service Co-op, which connects dark fiber from the metro area up through all the schools, the cities, townships, St. Louis County, the library systems have brought us up to the 21st century and beyond. I know with the Virginia School District, prior to the Middle Mile Fiber Project coming on, we use about 20 megabytes. And now with our iPads 1-to-1 and more computer stuff, we peak at 250, and we would never be able to do that through MediaCom or any other provider. So that it's something that Rams endorsed, along with Taconite Ridge, the wind farm, and the Minnesota solar panel. A lot of these entities come to Rams and we endorse them, and what you're getting there is you're getting an endorsement from the cities, the townships, the schools, and everybody, and it helps when you're going down to the state for funding or going somewhere else to other nonprofits, so.
So when you're talking about endorsements, are you then sending the lobbyists down to lobby on behalf of these things?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, yes. In a lot of cases, they might have their own lobbyists. I know that the Taconite Ridge wind farm, they had their own lobbyists, being that it was a Minnesota Power project.
So Rams actually employs a secretary and a lobbyist, correct?
Secretary, executive director, lobbyist. So.
If we had a big project here in town, and we came to Ram and said, yes, what can you do for us? In other words, if you saw it feasible, you would send support down to the city or whatever, or you'd make it known that everybody's behind it up here?
Correct. Yeah, what we do is we'd have you come and make a presentation to the board, and then the board would adopt it, and then that would be part of our platform. Now, this year, we didn't get the cities, the municipalities, and the schools together to build their platform. The only one that actually did was the superintendents. District 26 and 27 got together, and they have their educational platform. So we're kind of behind on that, but we're trying to get out to cities and townships and talk to them to find out their needs, so that if we can help in any way down in St. Paul, we will. So if you came with a project, it would, let's say, go through and everybody would talk about it. They go to their own councils and talk about it. They would not only get that endorsement, but they'd get Rams. And then if you needed lobbying from us, we would. So.
There was quite a write-up in the Mesabi Daily News this past weekend.
I wasn't here. I didn't get the paper.
Okay.
No. Yes, I understand. Mr. Hanna's known about this for probably over a month, and all of a sudden he had great urgency that he had to break this, us appointing David Tomasoni as our executive director. A lot of the stuff that's in the paper are somewhat factual, but not accurate. David, I'll backtrack. David is like Marquardt, who is was the head of education, the chairman of education last year, who was a teacher. But during the sessions, he's the head of education. He takes a leave of absence during this time and goes down to the Senate. We don't really have a House or a Senate of legislators. They're citizen legislators. So David's taken the leave of absence. He will actually not start for Rams until the end of the session, May 21st or something like that.
Is he acting as the lobbyist for
No, he is
Rams?
not. It's part of when we passed and did his contract, we went through legal, and there's a section in there. The board is now in charge of picking and choosing, and the lobbyist will actually come and report to the board. So he is not going to be lobbying at all.
I got the gist of it. I mean, it's,
Does anybody have any questions?
we just wanted to make sure, Mr. Reardon, that it was a positive for us.
We went out, we had several meetings. We had one in September, one in October, and then the board wanted us to go out, so we published for an executive director in the Virginia, Hibbing, Grand Rapids, and the Duluth papers. And we had 6 candidates, which one withdrew. They didn't want their name to be out. The search committee, which was the executive committee, and a couple other people. Dave Rorschach from Aurora Hoyt Lakes was on it, and Pat Garrity from Hibbing, Carlene Perfetto from Silver Bay, myself, and Craig Pulford was the executive committee. We reviewed actually there were 7, I apologize, the 6 applicants, and some of them didn't meet our minimum qualifications, but wanted, you always never known, the answer's always known when he asked a question. So they threw their hat in, but we found that none of them really met, some of them didn't meet the qualifications, and that David would be the best fit for our executive director.
Now, is that a new position? Because I know when Rams was first housed in Buhl, they had their lobbyist and they had their secretary. It was the 2 of them.
Yeah, well, it was the executive director, lobbyist was all in one,
Okay,
so,
so you're breaking that up now
We're
into
breaking
2
that up.
positions.
correct.
Okay. Is there that much going on with it that you need?
Well, when you start looking at the 3 entities, a great example is, I used to be on, up until last Friday, I was on the Minnesota School Board Association. I was a board of director with them. A great example is our districts up here, they make their platform, Minnesota School Boards Association makes a platform through our delegate assembly. And we do that in November when we go out and hit all the schools, and then in December we actually have a delegate assembly where we vote on every one of our platform issues. That's the whole state. And I'll use us, it might not be good for the Iron Range in some aspects, but it might get passed. So by us being down there, and MSBA does work with us, they work with their platform, but they will work with us on educational factors too. So we've been down there, I've been down there for 12 years, every year, during the legislative session, either testifying or lobbying, just myself through the Virginia School Board. So yes, there's a lot. A lobbyist can coordinate things and bringing people down. Some of the cities, like Silver Bay, and their economic development, some of the projects that they've done up there, Carlene just says that they would not be able to have what they have if it wasn't for Rams, so.
So it's more of how we use you than how you look for ways of helping us, is how Rams is.
Yeah, we're not gonna come in and tell you how to do things.
Well,
We're gonna try to assist you to get things done. And by having somebody on the board, or coming, we are changing the structure a little bit back to where you don't have to be a board member to sit on a committee, so we can get more voices in there, because the bylaws state 23,
okay,
so.
all right.
How many years have we been?
2001.
But we've never had much for an update, and they used to be housed right in Buhl when they first were established, and then moved over to Mountain Iron. And we have other lobbying groups for the city, but we've been in discussion that, it'd be nice to know, what are we paying dues for? What are we getting for what we're putting out?
And that's one thing that, as a board of directors in October, this is one of the reasons I think that we kind of went this way, is that we want to get out and see the schools and the towns and the townships and come to the cities and let you know that we're here for you, and also to let you know what we're doing. So.
That's a good thing, you'll keep in contact. I mean, you gotta have information, otherwise you don't know what's going on.
I know, and I'm trying to think, it was a year that I was the president, I think it was 2006, 7, things started to go downhill economically throughout the whole country. And then Linda was going up for retirement.
Right.
With the money starting to get tight, what we did is then we were running with just the executive director.
Yeah.
And I love Ron, he did a great job, but he wasn't technical. Email to him was, a 4-letter word. And so we've got through that, and now we brought back on a secretary that's there, where we have office hours. We're gonna start to bring RAMs up to what it used to be.
Who is the lobbyist at this point?
At this point, we have not appointed one.
Last year?
Yeah.
Did you have one last year?
Last year, Ron
Ron was
was,
still-
actually,
okay.
Ron retired and still lobbied for us. I shouldn't say that because he didn't get paid, but he was still a registered lobbyist for RAMs, so.
Okay.
I'm satisfied from what I heard.
Kind of wondering, with our membership dues, where does that money go to, just for,
It goes into RAMs to pay for the executive director. We will be paying for a lobbyist. It pays for our secretary. So, and for our housing at Northeast Service Corp, which really gave us a fantastic office space with the Middle Mile Fiber project, broadband and telephone service and everything. So we do the mailings. We also have the annual dinner, which I believe you received an email.
Yes.
And it's on February 13th. What's starting to shape up, we're hoping for February 13th, and that's when we'll hopefully bring in one of our local congressmen or house reps to talk at the meeting. And that is, all 5 of you can come on your dues, and it's a free dinner, and you get to listen to somebody talk. It could be somebody from one of the mining companies, Polynet, or one of the future companies, but that's part of your annual dues also.
is there anything you guys are going after this year with your lobbying down there? I mean, is there any projects you're helping out with right now, or?
Well, right now, I know that looking at our past, we've endorsed Polymet and the Nuggets, and the school is the one that we basically have right now. I know that we're gonna try to get the townships, the people that are on the board, and get a meeting, a committee meeting of them to see if there's anything that they urgently need us to go down there and lobby. And that will become then part of would be the municipal platform. So it's all in the state of flux, and we're all trying to move it in the right direction right now, so.
Any other questions?
And we know that Buhl's been here for many years, and we hope that we retain you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to get mad at this gentleman here that took down all your Christmas stuff and your wreaths. 'Cause I know this will be on TV, and my wife will listen to it, and she'll want me to take my wreaths down. Thank you, now I have extra work to do.
All right. The annual membership dues.
Well, I think we should stick with them, because like you say, the restructuring and things could work out good if we did need something, and the dues haven't gone up since we've been with them.
I don't know how that can be now that they're taking on another full-time person, but it might be a really good deal, I don't know.
Ron is part-time, so he'll be 6 months, and then on the off year, when the legislature, like last year, didn't start until the end of February, will, let's say, be a 3-month, so he'll be on 8-month salary. So the rest of that, the difference there will be going to the lobbyists.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay the Rams dues for 2015.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Uh-oh. Resolution nominating official to Rams Board of Directors.
We don't have to do that though, am I correct? If we didn't want somebody to be nominated to the board, we'd still be members, so.
Yes, you'd still be
So it'd
nominated.
be up to the council.
Is this a
if they
monthly
want.
meeting?
We're actually doing monthly meetings now, because that's what the board wants to get back into. Our bylaws say quarterly,
Okay.
but we will be having, like this Friday, we're having a meeting. So,
What time do your meetings?
6 o'clock at the Northeast Service Co-op.
Okay. Is anybody interested in serving at this time?
Monthly meeting?
Generally speaking, from the past, we haven't been monthly. During the session, we try to keep up monthly. We have the annual meeting, so we don't have one in February. And then we take the summers off.
Okay.
But with the new board of directors and the vision, it would be a possibility of maybe every other month. It's just that right now, we had September, we've had one in October, we've had one in early November, end of November, one in December, and then one at the end of December, so it's been hectic.
Are you interested, Gene?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind keeping an eye on things, you know what's going on and stuff, so.
Can I have a motion?
Make a motion that Gene serve on the Rams Board of Directors.
I'll support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And-
Have the roll call?
Oh,
Councilor Lehman,
yeah.
Councilor Matthews,
Abstain.
Councilor Larson,
Yes.
Councilor Kuechly,
Yes.
Mayor Swanson.
Aye.
And I take it you send notifications to the city hall here and stuff for meetings?
And I apologize, I should have explained if I can, Mayor. What we do is at our annual meeting, we will have a ballot with new officers, and 9 board members will go off, 9 will stay on, so, and right now, we're getting a lot of people that are very interested in it and excited about it, so we might have more than 9, and in the past, we've scrambled to get people. So you might be on a ballot where we would send a ballot to all of our members. Each town would get, a municipality and school would get 1 vote for the membership, but right now, we're just trying to piece it together, and we have, like I said, I know of, you would be now the 4th for to fill the 9 that are going off the board, so.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. Animal ban. This was something that I had talked with Mike about doing as an ordinance, and I see here, Mike, that we could have a simple motion on it.
You could do the motion, or you could have the ordinance, I think, the attorney had said that if you do the ordinance, so there would be a penalty.
The only way, right, the only way you can have a penalty, so it's enforceable by a ticket, is doing an ordinance. So that's really, depends on what you want to do. If you want to have a way to enforce it, other than,
Well, we've never had an animal ban, and we've just had a few episodes, once at the senior center and a few at our library. Our librarian was bringing her dog to work, and it kind of started a spiral downhill. We had a couple more, and then they passed their own, and it never would have happened, I think, if we would have had something on the books. So I just think it's good to have something on the books so that in future, people know that unless it's a service animal, you don't
Service
bring it
animal,
into
right.
city buildings.
Well, what do you think would be the best way to go? I don't know. Anybody?
The only thing nice about an ordinance is that you have teeth if you have somebody who's belligerent,
True. That's true.
and then it's in our ordinance book.
Now, under the ordinance, under the penalty section, I did put a fine of not more than $300, so
Oh.
it's up to you if you want to change that I suppose.
Sure, I mean, you can set that amount at any amount that you wanted to, up to the $300, that would be the maximum for a petty misdemeanor offense. But you could set it at $50, or you could set it at $50 for the first offense, $100 for the second offense, $300 for the third offense. You could do it in a graduated manner if that's what you want to do either. It's really up to you.
Any thoughts?
Well, I guess, you know, could we put this on hold and just make a motion that it's for now? And if it gets out of hand, then we can look at the ordinance deal. Should we give it a little time? What do you think?
I think if we have something, that we know,
I think we kinda should have an ordinance on it. If there's nothing in place, then people are free to do what they want, and then, we gotta come back to this and go over it again,
And actually, one of the dogs that had been in the library attacked somebody outside the library.
Oh.
So it just helps us with liability things, I
Okay.
think.
would it be a library here?
All the city buildings, yep,
Public, yeah.
yep,
Yeah, it'd be the community center, the curling club.
yeah.
That's fine. If you wanna do the ordinance deal.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we gotta adopt the ordinance for animals, keep them out of the city buildings.
Except if it's a service.
Service animal.
Right.
I'll support.
Any more discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add something.
Okay,
If it's an ordinance and it can be enforced, we can't write a ticket, for instance. You would have to have the city attorney drop a formal complaint.
right.
So, because of this, as we've discussed before, the ticket writer system that the court has, that particular ordinance wouldn't be entered into with that court's database, so it would require the
Attorney
The
to follow
alternative,
through.
yeah.
Okay,
That can't be on our ticket writing deal?
Well, we could, it's a little bit of a chore to
Oh, is
do
it?
it.
Okay.
And I don't know that it's worth it.
Probably won't be worth it.
hopefully we won't
As long
have.
as the ordinance isn't.
Yeah.
Frequency, probably any kind of problem, but.
But if there's a problem, they can still call law enforcement to handle the problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
oh, yeah, always.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. A resolution accepting a donation. That's always good. This is a donation from the city of Kinney in the amount of $1,000. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 1514, accepting donation.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Another resolution accepting.
there's
Oh, roll, I'm sorry.
Councilor Lehman?
Yes.
Councilor Matthew?
Yes.
Councilor Larson?
Yes.
Councilor Kuechly?
Yes.
Mayor Swanson?
Aye. Resolution 1515, an ordinance accepting a donation from the city of Kinney, again in the amount of $200. This is for the operations at the library. The other one was for the senior center.
That's correct, yes.
I make a motion, we adopt resolution 1515 for a total of $200 donation.
I'll support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Have the roll.
Councilor Lehman? Councilor Matthew?
Yes.
Councilor Larson?
Yes.
Councilor Kuechly?
Yes.
Mayor Swanson?
Aye. All right, Hibbing excavation change order. The city received $980,000 from the state legislature for this project at the Mesabi Academy. Granite City Roofing was awarded the contract, and the roof portion of the cost is $808,494. There's been one change order in the amount of $11,029, bringing their contract total to $819,523.
So we're still sitting good for that, so.
Yes.
I make a motion that we pay the change order number 1 to Hibbing Excavation.
The total amount of,
I lost
is
it.
that three?
11,000.
Is it, what's the amount, Mike? Is it the,
$5,972.70.
Oh, I don't know, yeah.
It's on the second paragraph.
okay. $5,972.70.
Okay, it is, yeah. All right, for $5,970.70.
Support.
Any discussion?
I have a little bit of a problem with the cold weather startup, and, you know, it was bid for November. I think any contractor up here knows that November's cold. It takes, you know, if it's 20 below, you plug your equipment in, or you have a generator there to keep it warm, or I just have a little problem with some of the time that was spent starting equipment, and that they weren't aware that it was gonna be cold.
Right.
And they had a year to do it, till October.
What was the time
Yeah.
frame?
Yeah, they had time to do this.
When was the job to start?
It was to start this in November.
In November.
I think one of the things that we were talking about too was the ground freezing more than what they anticipated. Did you get that one little?
I did.
Okay.
Nice.
That's why I kind of asked them at that last meeting we had up to school, and they're going to be starting that time of the year, if they were going to have a person around there 24/7 to take care of things and monitor stuff, and, if, you know, involve all this with the equipment and everything else. And he told me it wasn't necessary. Well,
Did they ever say why they started?
because they said the cold wouldn't affect them that much. Well, guess what?
No, they weren't. What is it?
An extra 6,000 here.
Some of that's pipe.
Some of it's
fittings,
pipe and those,
Okay.
Roughly 20.
Special gaskets and that.
we can table this if you like, and I can talk to them.
Why were them gaskets not in the, is that from the engineer? Shouldn't they have been on the,
I would have thought they would have been too. I would assume that the engineer would have known that.
You'd think if it's a requirement.
Right.
I don't know, I guess I'd like to table this if, you know, to maybe
I think I
look
would
into
do
it.
Can I have a motion?
Well, we already have a motion from Gene.
Oh, that's right.
To
And
pass
supported
it, so
by-
I guess we gotta kind of vote on it, and
Okay.
3 of you or whatever vote no on
Okay.
it.
All in favor?
No,
No.
it's easy.
Okay. Support, motion dies. All right. Now can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to table the, what would
Change
it
order?
be?
Just change order.
Change order for Hibbing excavation.
Support.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All right.
All right,
Aye.
just one question. What are we gonna ask them? What are we gonna go for here?
We're gonna ask him why,
I guess my biggest problem is, you know, I have a problem with special gaskets not being in the bid. And why, if that's a requirement of the,
The project.
you know, why that wouldn't have been in there.
Why wasn't on the specs, maybe?
Right, yeah. And then the cold weather thing is just, I find it hard to believe a contractor in northern Minnesota wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to be prepared for that.
Mike, were you gonna ask that person to stop up here and talk to you?
I will talk to him, yeah.
Okay, if he was gonna come over here, then
Oh, I definitely give either Paul or
Paul,
Stu or
Stu.
one of you two guys to come talk with them.
Okay.
You know a little bit more about that kind of thing than I do.
Very good.
When you gonna start on the roof sometime?
Not until, what was it, April, May,
Right, yeah.
sometime in there, they're gonna start on the roof. And they figured they only needed 3 months
Yeah.
max for the roof to be done, so.
See, there's some pipe, other pipe, like for the, off the roof
Yes. Yep.
up there.
Yeah.
Can I ask, what was the change order before for the roof?
They're going to change the roof design. They're, instead of going with the more spendier roof, they're going, what was it, Mike? A different type of covering.
That, and because of the way we were doing it, the newer roof, the cheaper type roof we were putting on there, they had to do some extra work in the plumbing. And that's where it kind of got confusing, and that's why there was an add-on to it.
All right. Now we've got another payment coming to them. Application for payment includes a 5% retainage.
And this is for the plumbing work that is done on the roof from whatever company.
Yeah, yeah. Was that $2,510, Mike? Is that the?
We're looking at $47,690.
Right on the front page there, end of the paragraph.
Oh, there it is, okay.
And that's 5% of the cost?
No, basically it just says,
Retain.
Oh.
yeah, there was a 5% retainage, which is pretty standard for contracts for cities.
So this work is all completed now?
Correct, yes.
Can I have a motion to pay this?
I'll make a motion to pay the $47,690 to Granite City Roofers.
I'll support.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Humane Society contract. Could you speak to us at all about this, Sergeant McKenzie?
Sure. St. Louis County, excuse me, St. Louis County Sheriff's Office has a contract with 3 organizations in the county, like Musabi Humane Society, and that contract covers the area in which Buhl is, you know, the other cities also. And if the sheriff, meaning a deputy sheriff, calls, they have a dog picked up or brings a dog to the society, to the facility, that cost is covered. If we do the same thing in Buhl, they're getting paid twice because
Well,
they have a contract.
the problem is though that it's only the sheriff that can call them up.
Well, right, I mean,
You know, right now, we have the citizens that can call up right away if something happens, or the city itself can.
right, but generally, we'll know about that, not always, but if people call and make it our problem, because they call 911, it gets a call assigned to an officer, then it becomes the sheriff calling, and that cost is paid for by St. Louis County.
Right.
And the money that, the contract, with the money that the city spends with the society essentially doesn't get touched. And I guess if it were me, I would demand from them their times of activity or patrol or whatever they claim to be doing in town here. And I think it also puts the city in a pretty good negotiating position too. So, because they're already being paid by the county. So, that's it, that's one of the advantages that the city has, having a contract with the sheriff's office, so. And Kinney's in the same boat actually too.
How long has the county had this contract?
Well, actually, I'm not sure, but I believe it's been for a long time.
So we've really been redundant with having our own city policy or contract when we're covered through the county, essentially.
Yeah, kind of like paying them twice.
Yeah.
Mike, do you think you could probably get a hold of the Saba Humane Society? And could we get the records from 2014, how many calls were answered over here in the city and what their policy still is?
Sure, but I'm not sure how well the records are gonna be, unfortunately. I mean, there's a whole new crew that
Yeah.
that are there now, so.
I'm just, just curiosity here. What-
Sure.
How many problems we've had
Yeah,
before?
yeah, it'd be nice.
And there won't be that many, I know that.
No.
It seems like a lot of money for.
Oh, yeah,
It's a lot of money.
It is.
especially if we're already covered through the county.
Is there a full-time animal control officer that just works Buhl?
No, no, they supposedly will
Yeah.
make a drive through town occasionally.
Right, okay.
So in other words, this piggybacking with the county on this will cost the city nothing?
Nothing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we just have to have the citizens and so forth call 911 instead of calling the Humane Society.
Right, and
Exactly.
what the Humane Society then submits a bill to the county, and with the sheriff's office case number.
Right.
And that's how they know to get paid.
Yep, and I read the contract, so that you gave me.
Let me look into it.
All right. Well, do we wish to table, reject, or make a motion of some sort with this?
I guess we can always try something new for 1 year.
Right? Yeah.
I'm sure they would contract at any point if we wanted to.
I'm sure they would. So,
So, should we just not act?
Yeah, no-
We
no
can do
action
that?
taken.
No action taken, okay. Travel reports. We're gonna send our city crew down for training to the Minnesota Rural Water Association Technical Conference. This looks like it'll be some good training.
Get some stuff out on it.
Dan, you'll get some licensure too,
yep.
so that'd be good.
I'll make a motion that we send Dan and Trent down for the Rural Water Association Technical Conference on March 3rd through the 5th, and of course, everything we do as far as for paying for mileage and motel and stuff.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right. MMUA annual dues. This is our electric membership dues. And we get a lot of services from them.
This is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They help us with, whenever Minnesota Power starts to increase their rates and so forth, they're always there for us.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion, we pay our dues to the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association for $1,040.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the tram stop.
Yeah, this is just 1 week before the other one that we
The other big
approved.
one, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it'd be an idea too, maybe we'll talk to the rec board or the library board and see if one of them wants to set up a table and offer some sort of refreshments, and maybe talk to Buhl Water and see if they want to put out something out there.
Right.
Because I know the week after, with that request to store those bikes, we'll use the big community center for storing bikes
Yeah.
down here and stuff, so.
But this should be okay, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done this quite a few years now.
Do we need a motion for
We
this?
should have a motion to let them use our beach as a rest stop.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we allow the tram to use our beach area and stuff and campgrounds for rest stops.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Here comes your favorite one.
Okay.
I saved it for last, too. Did you see that?
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
I say no to this every year, only because,
I'll make a motion, we donate the $100 to St. Louis County Fair.
okay.
Exactly, what does this $100 do for us? That's basically what I'm wondering.
It's the county fair. You know, it's $100.
Puts money, gives them a little bit extra. They quite got money.
Do we get any tickets to?
You don't get nothing.
for this?
We get nothing for it. It's $100. That's, you know, it's only $100, but I just think that they should support themselves.
I did see advertising though last year for the county fair, and they had the city of Buhl listed there.
Oh,
And we had I think we had a fire truck, or 29 in it.
That's right, yeah.
No. I'll support it.
Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
I already had it.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. This meeting's adjourned.